5 मिनट आप लोगों के साथ बात करनी है। सो आप लोग मुझे 5 मिनट दो और मैं आपको 5 मिनट दूंगा, राइट? थैंक यू भैया and the Jaguar group, the whole family, for inviting us here for this grand event. You've seen the products and they're excellent. Bhavya Bhaiya told me to speak to you to motivate you, but it's a wrong word actually, because when I talk to you, I get motivated. And so what I thought, we'll just speak naturally about what comes in my mind. But I must tell you something very clearly. I've been speaking across the globe. The greatest extempore talks are very well rehearsed. So I couldn't sleep yesterday night, and I was rehearsing all day. So whatever comes out is extempore, to say. To all my friends, particularly from Chandigarh, and unnecessarily इन्होंने मुझे senior बना दिया जबकि मैं हूँ नहीं इतना. And says he wanted the young brigade is coming and you are a senior, so I don't know, I have to behave like one. I don't look like one, but I behave like one. But doesn't matter, I'll do that. Just considering what was our profession, I was in Singapore 4 days ago, and I was talking on the same lines. What architecture is. The first question which came on the stage when it was, I spoke after 2 Pritzker Award winners. And it's a lot of pressure when you're on the stage talking after such stalwarts. Hota kya hai ki our profession, your profession, my profession is such, it's glorious. We want to glorify buildings, we want to glorify ourselves. आज की डेट में शाहजहां का ताजमहल नहीं है. आज की डेट में when we make a building, our name gets written on it. Anybody knows the name of Taj Mahal's architect? No. We know about Shah Jahan. But today, building is of Calatrava, Rogers building, Doshi Saab's building. So that name entails us to do something worthwhile. So that's a damn problem. We make a good building. My father is 93. All of you know him. He's still working. At 93, still working in the office. It's unfortunate that that generation of architects will perish soon. After independence, the whole generation which became influenced by Le Corbusier / Chandigarh. अगर ये ना होता तो modern architecture India में होती नहीं. It's so strange. And when I tell this to people across the globe, they're surprised. They say we come to Chandigarh to see the capital complex. But we never realize the impact that today all of us are because of 2 things. In fact, 3 things. Le Corbusier, Chandigarh, and concrete. Concrete ना होता तो ये चीजें होती ना हमारे पास. Just imagine the universe, how the universe collaborates to create, to give the path to the genius. Le Corbusier was 65 years old. हम लोग तो रिटायर हो जाते हैं इस जमाने में. 65 when he got this project of Chandigarh. And he came with a bang. When my father says that master plan was carved in 24 hours. जो Albert Mayer बेचारा 6 महीने से गोल कर रहा था. We all know the story. He just came, made it straight, and said, "This is for the future. This is the future." And today we realize it's the future. I have paper cuttings which says कि यार this man is a madman. 80 फुट की रोड्स बनाई हुई हैं, उस पे एक बुलेट कार चल रहा है, उस पे एक स्कूटर चल रहा है, साइकिल चल रहा है. And today, after 70 years, we still don't have the traffic jams, except for certain time in the morning. No. So architects are not builders. You and I are visionaries. We make it for the future. गलती हम लोग ये करते हैं. We get under the pressure. We make something good for today because we want to be known that this is Sangeet Sharma's building. ऐसा होता नहीं है यार. Because when we make something good, our name is attached. And when we make something bad, our name is attached. There is no second chance in architecture, my father says. I'm giving you all the gyan of 90 years in next 7 minutes. I know the students of CCA wale kahan gaye? It's a fad which says, oh, I don't like Corbusier. अरे Corbusier तक पहुंचने के लिए पहले बन जाओ, then you criticize. It's so easy to criticize architecture. है ना करो नहीं? हमारी CCA वाले ऐसे बोलते हैं. I was a part of the jury and somebody made a building and I said, yeah, this is not the right thing for Chandigarh. He said, man, I don't like Chandigarh architecture in any case. I don't mind. I don't agree. Fine. Doshi Saab, till he became unwell about 10 years ago, used to come every year, stay with us. And I used to go with him to the Capitol complex. I used to say, Uncle, kya yaar, wohi ramp, wohi upar niche, kis liye? And at the age of 85, he says, I'm learning architecture. Mr. B.B. Doshi. He says, यहाँ की जो एहसास है, जो मैं महसूस करता हूँ spaces को, I inhale architecture. And that's how it used to be. If you ask my father, what is his most favorite building? He says, अभी बनी नहीं. इस तरह के कैलिबर के वो लोग थे, I would say. And he's the last person alive who worked with Corbusier. Not many people know that when he was assisting Le Corbusier on the museum building, Le Corbusier died when the building was at the foundation stage. It's all in my books if you read. पढ़ते नहीं architects. So he, as a junior architect, thought like Corbusier. Imagine a junior architect जिसको बोल दिया कि भाई तुम अब इसको बना दो. I used to always ask him, how do you do it? He says, I thought like what he would do. और सारी details, सारी building he did it. Amazing courage. So the second component of architecture, friends, you all know, I'm sure you all know, is the courage. जब square rectangle buildings बन रही थी चंडीगढ़ में, one person had the audacity to make his CSIO campus circular. It gives us a rebellion. But out of the rebellion, if you are convinced, it's a success. So the third component of your profession, my profession, is the rebelliousness. Not for the sake of, just for the sake of being something different. There's no such thing of being, I want to do something hatke. You can make a film which is hatke. You can write poetry hatke. You can't do architecture hatke. I'm talking gyan ke words, but I have learned from my seniors and mentors. I'm still learning. I love this phrase after 25 years when I say people, I'm also learning architecture. When we go abroad, I'm sure you must have experienced this also when you go abroad, particularly in Europe, and you say you're from Chandigarh, लोग हमें हाथ लगा के देखते हैं यार. And how many of us actually know the story of Chandigarh? They touch you, say, oh my goodness, you're from Chandigarh. Such a feeling it is. I mean, all of us, and the best part of Chandigarh is, best part of this fraternity of architecture is, we all own Chandigarh. ये कौन कह सकता है कि यार ये मेरा नहीं है, या I haven't been to the Capitol complex, and you don't own it. When you go abroad, you probably say from Chandigarh. So that feeling is ingrained in us. There's something special about it that gives us such a sense of pride that we are from Chandigarh. मैं अभी बोल के आया हूं ना, तो मुझे रटा हुआ है. But a few of them ask us very hard-hitting questions. कि सर आप क्या करते हैं चंडीगढ़? when you have so much of pressure, when you have so much of lineage of a person, to them it is Corbusier aaye, Corbusier ne banaya, wo khatam ho gaya, it's end of the story. This happened 20 years ago when I was giving a talk somewhere. And that's the time I realized, yeah, we need to tell the world what we are doing in Chandigarh. Otherwise, though, somebody came, somebody did. It was such a hard-hitting question. Someone told me, sir, what do you do? So we tell them, acha, we have, controls, we have issues, we go by the brick and concrete. So we are limited in our creativity. ऐसा है नहीं. अगर ऐसा होता, तो ये लोग इतने सुंदर, great-looking guys won't be here. Why would be in a place like Chandigarh to do practice of architecture? यहाँ ना तो लोगों के पास यहाँ पैसा है, ना तो लोगों के पास इंडस्ट्री है, ना इतनी समझ है, because the exposure is limited. But still, all of us wish to be here because at least उनमें एक character है यार. And we saw his works; they were so amazing works. Anybody went? Guys, don't miss out to all these things. It's a perpetual learning all our life. He says, यार मैं तो इतना बड़े काम कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन जब मैं आप पे काम देखता हूँ तो I feel jealous. मैं कहा, my goodness यार, scale इतनी. So there is something superior about being an architect, B, settled in Chandigarh, C, working out of Chandigarh. Thank the Lord, we have a lot of work in South India also. I have an office in Coimbatore and we're doing some good works. So the first thing they ask is कि आप North Indian होके South India में accept कैसे हो गए? Because particularly in Tamil Nadu, we just dislike North Indians. Not because we are fair, but because we are unfair. We are loud, we are boisterous, we are egoistic, we are abusive, racist,
and proud.
Pride is what? Pride to hate. So I said, sir, I'm schooling is from Bangalore and I was in Chandigarh and I know the language, I speak Kannada and I picked up Tamil. But that's not it. That's not it. It's been 16 years I was in Coimbatore when I first gave the presentation and they were looking at me like, who the bloody hell he is. 15 years later, I've done work for them for almost about 800 crores. Simply because they liked the architecture. There is no other way. There is no other way to excel. This is what I learned from my peers, to make your name except for good architecture. Problem ये है, practice of architecture में और architecture में बहुत अंतर है. So I wrote a book called Castles in the Air. Anybody knows about it? Very sad, yeah. Bloody hell. Very sad. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
But like a technical.
What दोस्त है यार?
क्या-क्या लिखा हो कुछ सुना?
ये मैं नहीं बताऊंगा. I cut my profession to bits. And they say कि संगीत सर आप वही हो जिसने जो architecture life and me इतनी sentimental books लिखी हुई हैं. You're a poet. You can write all this slangish language. हम लोग ना सब architects particularly सब नकाबपोश लोग हैं. करते कुछ और हैं, बोलते कुछ और हैं. It's okay. Every human being is a matter of pretense. But the question is, we as architects, want to live in a certain world which we make ourselves. Don't get disheartened. Don't get disheartened. So मैंने वो पर्दा खोल दिया. हर चीज, whether it's on education, contractors, consultants, clients, green, house design, building design, सबकी डैश डैश कर दी. The question is, when people are reading the book, when they come to the end, I say, wait guys, wait. I am talking about the practice of architecture, not architecture. There is nothing more noble in this world than architecture. There is nothing more human in this world than architecture. You're giving a person not the habitat. You're giving a person the joy to live there. And I'm telling you, you all know this, I'm sure. जबकि हमारा क्लाइंट बोलता है ना, पलक मजा आ गया, असली फीस वो होती है ना, तुम कहते हो छोड़ना यार, पैसे नहीं देने मैंने, सारा मुफ्त कर दूंगा. That's the greatest fee we can get यार. फीस छोड़नी नहीं चाहिए guys. पहले बहुत कम मिलती है सारी फीस हमें. And I wrote all this in the cast. It was the bestseller ever written by an architect. Fiction, 2019. Grab a copy. It's good. And I can assure you, it's unstoppable laughter. If you start at 9, you won't sleep in the night. I'm very sad that you haven't read it. Nevertheless, Gyan chhodte hain. There was some piece of architecture vis-a-vis the faucet which I had wrote for about 5-7 years, and I was requesting Amanji, chale gaye, and other people in Jaguar that whenever you are together for about 300-400 people, I would like to speak. वो नहीं हुआ. So आज मैं यहाँ बोल रहा हूँ बाबू भैया, with your permission. I was just wondering guys, कि faucet and life का कितना एक unity है. There's something so aligned with the faucet and life. First principle of a faucet and life, it is always bent. The humility, the kind of humility which this thing shows us is a part of life. It's always humble. And the flow, ever flowing, ever giving, life giver, life saver, water. Disciplined. Kam zada. Small faucet teaches us so much about life. Do you ever think of this? And it erodes. It's open to change. It doesn't say, I am the bloody best. Sari ki sari Gita ka gyan is faucet mein. 70 साल हो गए जैकवार को, उनको ये नहीं पता होगा. आज मैंने आपको बता दिया. That's a kind of, when you make a product, when you make anything, what we do in a small thing, we are making for that posterity, we're making for the generations which, and if you give that meaning, my peers say, fathers say, gurus हमने बहुत बताते हैं, guru के बिना कुछ नहीं मिलता. Architecture at the end of the day is a guru shishya parampara. Know the people who worked with Mr. Doshi or they worked with anywhere. There's an influence. And my father says, we learn from Corbusier and Genre. Or kya ho sakta hai? So it is the absolutely transferring of the knowledge, like all spiritual knowledge. There is no other way except for a genius. We say Le Corbusier was a born genius. वो तो कहीं पढ़े नहीं है. He traveled for 2 years. August Perry was his guru. He learned all that. So there is an absolute able transferring of the knowledge. And that's architecture. There is no mantra of architecture here. There is no mantra. It's been 25 years. 30 years.
57.
Oh no. तभी we are बोलते you are old. That's a headache. What I gathered, wrote about 5 books and a lot of buildings we did. Unless you put your soul, we end up making buildings for people. 10 साल जब हमने स्टूडियो में काम किया, ऑफ कोर्स अंडर माय फादर, सबसे ज्यादा डांट हमें पड़ती थी, फॉर व्हाटएवर रीजन. एंड आफ्टर 10 साल के बाद मैंने कहा कि God, I want to do one building on my own. I was very skeptical. चलो कर. So किया 1, 2, 3, 4. अभी भी जब लोग उनके पास जाके ये पूछते होंगे या पूछते हैं, संगीत अच्छा कर रहा है, सीख रहा है, ठीक है. And I tell you friends, I still make a plan and go to him and keep it in front of him. He नहीं यार बहुत साल हो गए संगीत, वेरी नाइस, कोई बात नहीं, तो सारे अवार्ड ही. नहीं यार एक बार देख लो. उनकी आंखें मेरी ड्राइंग की तरफ होती हैं, मेरी आंखें उनकी आंखों की तरफ होती हैं. जहां साला वो आंखें उनकी टिक जाती हैं ना, वहां पे गलती होती है. He sees it, he pauses for a second, the fault there. Abhi bhi there's a fault there. You're so blessed. We have people like this who can guide us. Never shirk from being guided. There's no ego from learning. There's always a room for better. And in architecture, there's always the room at the top. Khali pada hai. कोई नहीं बैठ पाया वहां पे. Always the room at the top. And that's where I'm striving. That's where my friends must strive. Wish you all the best. Sorry I get a little emotional, but that's what it is. Bless you all. Thank you very much.